Here's the next problem. Use the vertex and intercepts to sketch the graph of the quadratic function. Okay, so you'll need to do these in a few steps. First of all, we're pretty good with the vertex now. The vertex here, using our previous table, going up, I'll just copy this here. Using this, the vertex is at HK, so here for us, the vertex H is H is 2, K is -9, so the vertex is the point 2, -9. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line in this case. And so you have to write x equals 2, and it is this 2 right here. And the crucial thing is you must write x equals 2, not just 2. And I'll demonstrate that in just a moment. Okay, and then use the graph to determine the domain and range. So the domain of any quadratic function is always -infinity to infinity. Now, the range is a little bit trickier. And so the range depends formula. Here, A is 1. That's the number in front here, 1. Since A equal to 1 is positive, the parabola opens up. So the parabola opens up like this. And so this means -9 is the minimum. So that means that the range goes from -9 to infinity. That answers the question for the range. It's my hope that I have a similar one next. Right. So when you come across one where if it was something like this, if it was negative x minus 3 squared plus 9, then here the vertex would be 3, 9. But the most important thing would be that the range, this one's going to, because this is negative, it's going to look like this. Therefore, 9 would be the maximum. And then the range would be -infinity up until 9. So that's the difference between the two. Right? So that the question about the range is going to be about how it opens up, and it's about the number in front, whether it's positive or negative. The other point I want to bring up is if the form is not in a form that we're used to seeing. So when it looks like this, so when it's in this form, when f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, then the vertex, the x coordinate of the vertex, is that x equals -b over 2a. So for us here, a is 1, b is -4, and c is 3. vertex, the x-coordinate of the vertex is x equals negative 4 over 2 times 1. That's positive 4 over 2. That's 2. That's the x-coordinate of the vertex. To find the y, plug into f. And so f of 2 is equal to 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 3. That's 4 minus 8 plus 3. That's negative 4 plus 3. That's negative 1. And so the vertex is the point 2, comma, negative 1. And then we go about answering the other questions as we did before. The axis of symmetry is x equals 2. The domain is minus infinity to infinity always. And now, again, because 1 is positive, this opens up like this. And so negative 1 is the minimum. So negative 1 to infinity is the range. I'm going to put all that in, and I'm going to graph. So to graph these things, you will need the vertex and one more point. So to graph, you need the vertex and one more point. And my math lab wants that point to be on the axis, either the x-axis or the y-axis, and I prefer to find the point on the y-axis. So the extra point will be the y-intercept. So set x equal to 0 and find the y-intercept. So up here, or in other words, that's f of 0. Find f of 0, plug 0 in the f. So in this one here, if I wanted to find the y-intercept, you would plug 0 in. So f of 0 here would be 0 minus 2 squared minus 9. That equals 4 minus 9. That equals negative 5. So the graph hits the y-axis at negative 5. I'm going to go ahead and graph this one now that we have everything. Where's all my information? Okay, let me underline it. It's the axis of symmetry is here. The vertex is here. The domain is here. The range is here. And I'm going to plot this. Let's go into my math lab and do this one. Okay, so then here, I'm going to get this. It needs the vertex. We think it's 2, comma, negative 9. It hits the y-axis at 0, comma, negative 5. There, and that should be it. I'm going to check that. Okay, great. The axis of symmetry, we said, is x equals 2. The domain is always negative infinity, comma, infinity. And the range is, again, the lowest y value to the highest y value. And once you graph it, you'll see it. In this case, it's negative 9 to infinity. Right, and then for the next one, the same thing happens. Have you practice that one and that one? And then for us, we would do the same thing as we did before and work it out. Hope it helps. Practice the other ones.